Good day everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today it's time for number 19 on the countdown to the Spectrum list. It's Fairlight from The Edge, released in 1985 for the original price of £9.95, also released on Amstrad CPC and Commodore 64. This is the game that's probably going to damage my reputation the most on here when I turn around and reveal the revelation that I've never played this game. Not outside of the video anyway, but I've never sat down and played a game of this before. I know, shocking, because I know this is a very well revered game across the Spectrum community, and for some reason just passed me by. And it probably shock a lot more people because everybody on this channel by now, I'm sure, will be aware. If you watch regularly, you'll know I like isometric 3D games. So why the heck I never played this before, I don't know. I really don't have a reason. I think maybe the case looks very Dungeons and Dragons-ish, and I was never really into Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. I know it was a massive thing in the 80s, being an 80s child really. Well, I was born in the 70s, obviously I'm that old, but I grew up in the 80s. You'd think really that I would have been into D&D, but I really wasn't, and the case looks very much D&D to me, so maybe that's why I never played it. But yeah, this is going to hurt my credibility for sure. I really think this is the one. I was a bit nervous about putting this one on the countdown, but I know so many people love this game. It would have been completely a big mistake not to put this on the countdown. And I'm doing these countdowns, I'm doing it for me, but I'm also doing it for you guys, you know, to get you all pumped for the system. And I'm pretty sure that most of you would be expecting me to include this game on here. So it's on here despite my limited knowledge, but we'll let the review do the talking on that when we get to it, and that'll help me out hopefully. So as ever, we'll look at what awards this game got. It was first in Best Arcade Adventure from Crash Readers Award, first in Best Graphics, Crash Readers Awards, first in Best Music, again Crash Readers Awards, and finally first in State of the Art Award from Crash Readers Awards. So Crash love it, and we'll be looking at the Crash review as ever when we get to that. It also received a Crash Smash in the issue we're going to look at, a Sinclair User Classic in issue 45, a Sinclair User Classic again in issue 55. Not quite sure why they felt the need to do it 10 issues later, but there we have it. And a Your Sinclair Mega Game in Your Sinclair issue 10. So what do you reckon then in the comments? On a scale of 1 to 10, how dumb was I for missing out on this game? Well, I get a second chance, don't I? Like all these games that we didn't actually play when we were younger. I've had a few people say, like with some of the games I've put in the countdown already, that, oh, I never played this game, so I'm looking forward to playing it on the Spectrum. So I guess it's not always a bad thing maybe to have not played a game, because at least now we've got that second chance to actually play it. So yeah, in that sense, I suppose I've not missed out for my lifetime, have I? Well, touch wood, unless something dramatic happens in the next week. Hopefully, all being well, I won't miss out. But anyway, let's have a look at the Crash review and let's see what they made of it. At least they can do the talking for me. It's a very pink looking review, this one. Nice review though. The land of Fairlight was once a happy, jolly place, but this is no longer the case. More than 3,000 years have passed since the worthy King Avars held court over the land from his castle, and the whole country is enveloped in gloom and despondency. The light has gone from the land, and the days are perpetually grey and gloomy, when once the sun shone endlessly in clear blue skies. Over the years, partly as a result of a series of weak rulers, the social fabric of Fairlight declined. The people once lived happily in a peaceful land, full of music, jollity and magic. Now the country has a feudal system, society is fragmented, overseen by merchants and barons. Castle Avars stands alone in the middle of the plain of Avarsland, impenetrable and surrounded in rumour and myth. Folk tales suggest that a perpetual summer shines within the castle. Other myths tell of Seagar the Immortal, who dwells within the castle, awaiting the moment to return when he'll bring the light back to the land. Istvar is a reluctant hero of this game, which forms the first part of the Chronicles of the Land of Fairlight and is subtitled A Prelude, The Light Revealed. Musing one day on the state of life, he decides to enter Ogri's Wood, a wood that is universally acclaimed as dangerous. Ignoring the wisdom of the elders, Istvar is sure they must be hiding something, perhaps a great treasure. He enters the wood and is captured by the woman monster Ogri and carried off to her cave, unconscious. When Istvar comes around, Ogri has departed, and the figure of an old man in a hooded cloak appears before him and tells Istvar that he is now on the shelf of Ogri's larder. Not one for being eaten, Istvar follows the old man out of the cave suddenly towards Castle Avars. Suddenly an entrance opens up in a wall that moments before was featureless. This is like a novel, this, isn't it? Istvar is in the castle, and the old man explains that he is the court sorcerer of King Avars and has been imprisoned imprisoned for thousands of years. Then the old man disappears. The figure which lured Isvar into the castle was merely an apparition created by the imprisoned sorcerer for just that purpose. Isvar now is trapped in the castle and can only escape by finding the Book of Light hidden within its walls and taking it to the sorcerer. Wow, what an introduction. I feel like spoiler alerts. I mean, it's giving a lot of the story away here, but I mean, it sounds like that literally is ironically just the prelude. Isvar, the character you control, is moved around in a world which is not only three-dimensional in aspect but realistic in terms of the way objects behave. Isvar has 5 pockets in which you can store the objects you collect, but each object has a mass and obeys the laws of physics. Push a chair and it will move quite a long way. Push a table and it moves less far. You can pick up and carry several pieces of food, for instance, as each is quite light, but if you try to carry a barrel, you'll find it's so heavy that Isvar has to drop everything else first. Objects may be called from a specified pocket when they will be displayed on a little scroll next to the life counter and then can be used. This scroll also acts as the display area where messages to do with manipulation of objects such as too heavy appear. Isvar's life force is also shown. How many times can you say his name? I'm going to say it again now. Isvar begins with a life force of 99 units shown on a counter on the scroll. This counter is decremented by encounters with the trolls, guards and other nasties that patrol the castle and may be topped up by eating food or drinking wine that can be found here and there. Isvar can fight and kill some of the nasties using his sword, but other opponents are not in the least perturbed by his efforts and are best avoided completely. Each location in the castle is color coded, which helps you keep your bearings while you explore. All the open air locations, for instance, are blue. As you leave one room or location, the screen will go blank for a couple of seconds while the change is made. Then the new location flashes onto the screen, ready drawn. If a location is filled with other moving figures, Isvar slows down a bit, but in an empty room he can really motor. During gameplay, silence reigns, but music fans will really appreciate the 2-channel simulation at the start, which pushes the Spectrum's beeper to the limit. Right, so as always, we'll leave the criticisms for now and head to the comments, and we'll also put the gameplay footage back up. Keyboard play, responsive, but easier on rubber ones. Well, that's handy for us. Use of colour, only black and a second colour used in each location. Graphics, a stunning new technique for 3D representation. Sound, cunningly simulated 2-channel music to begin with, otherwise silence. Skill levels 1, screens 80, general rating, a stunning game achieved with a new programming technique. Use of computer 89%, graphics 97%, wow. Playability 90%, getting started 86%, addictive qualities 91%, value for money 92%, and overall 95%. And we'll go back to the criticisms. Now I'm going to butcher this name, no doubt. Bojangaborg has certainly come up with an excellent new system for creating 3D representations of rooms and the objects contained in them. Playing Fairlight is a little tricky at first, owing to the number of keys you have to master. Once the initial awkwardness is overcome, it's great fun shoving things around the place and piling objects on top of one another to make ramps, which Isvar can climb. Very soon you do feel as if you're playing in a real world, and although the pauses between rooms are a bit annoying, the links are made very well. Overall, an excellent game, first-rate graphics, worth getting hold of to play, not just to look at. Wow, amazing, brill, triff, fab, awesome, and other such noises. Okay, I've never seen a game that looks as good as this. What excellent graphics. This knocks Filmation and Filmation 2 into a cocked hat, and there's a game behind the graphics too. What more could I ask for? Sound? There isn't any during the game, but the intro music makes up for it. Control is awkward and takes a little getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, playing becomes second nature. The only thing that is a little infuriating is screen blacks out every time you change location. Strongly recommend this game to everyone. It's very playable and addictive and looks so good. And the last one says, Ultimate first introduced us to realistic 3D graphics, but sadly not a lot of game was bolted onto them. Now thanks to the Edge, that gap has been filled. Fairlight features very high quality graphics and a good tune at the start of the game. While the game is fun to play, the desire to see the other screens makes you want to solve puzzles to get near the end effect. Controlling Isvar and manipulating objects is very easy, and using a bit of brain power, it's not long before you're well and truly hooked. It's hard to say whether Fairlight will appeal to arcade fanatics, but I'm sure there are few people who can actually say the game is useless. The Edge have come up with a very good arcade adventure with 3D graphics that should rate in everybody's top 10. So that's the review, and once again it kind of highlights to me that I definitely missed out when I didn't play this as a kid. But like I said, I've got a second chance now, so I'm looking forward to definitely getting into this. I think probably more than any on this list so far, I'm looking forward to playing this the most, because I feel like I did miss out, and it does seem like a game that would be right up my alley. Definitely going to be delving into this one. Is there anybody else out there like me? Was there anybody that didn't actually play this game? I would be interested. I want to hear from all of you, of course, particularly if you're big fans of the game, but it would especially be nice to hear from a few people that also didn't play this game, so I don't feel quite as silly as I currently do. Like I've said in previous videos, it's not always possible to have played every single game that ever existed on the Spectrum. There are a few omissions in my library, shall we say. In fact, the next game on this list is also going to be one I've never played before. I'm not going to reveal what that is because I never do in advance, but let's just say that tomorrow's review is going to be exactly the same as this one, and you'll find a similarity. It's kind of a similarity to the genre as well, I believe, as far as I know. It might just be that's the reason why I didn't play these games. Maybe I got a blind spot when it comes to that genre, but like I said, fully intend to make up for it when the Spectrum is released, and I'm really looking forward to delving into this game a lot more. So hopefully I will correct those past mistakes. Okay, everybody, thank you so much as ever for watching. Tomorrow is day 20 of the 22-day countdown. I can't honestly believe we're that close now, but we are. I've only got 3 more videos to make after this, so, well, in this series, of course. So yeah, we're that close. It's official. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Take care. See you soon. Bye for now.